Trade alert, trade alert. Wee woo, wee woo. Mickey Loomis does it again. Another trade for the black and gold. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard. Welcome into Saints Now by Chat Sports. We're going to break down the trade details, all the information you need to know, the compensation return, and everything in between. Be sure to subscribe to Saints Now by Chat Sports, like this video, and let's break it on down. Adam Schefter announcing the Dallas Cowboys are sending Asim Richards, offensive lineman, to the New Orleans Saints. And the trade compensation's a little bit weird. The Saints receive Asim Richards and a 2028 7th-round pick. The Cowboys receive a 2028 6th-round pick. So, and to say the least, this was a massive, massive, massive position in need. The offensive line has already been decimated by injuries, and the injury bug has already latched on to the New Orleans Saints. Here's an updated look at the depth chart for the black and gold. Trevor Penning still nursing an injury. He is recovering from a turf toe. Hopefully he can be ready to roll for week 1. Kelvin Banks Jr., Eric McCoy, Cesar Ruiz, Tyler Sefawaga. Nothing crazy. No new updates around those guys. Your starting 5 are set. 4 of them are healthy. And when you look at the depth, not much. Outside of this trade before Asim Richards became a member of the New Orleans Saints, you only had 3 backup offensive linemen. One of them you traded for last week. Torsilli Simpkins, a UDFA, and Dylan Radins, a guy you brought in free agency in the late stages. We're going to talk more about Asim Richards here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. I want to encourage you to subscribe for more updates, more news, more roster changes, because we have already seen so much happen in the last 24 hours, and we've broke down every single move. So be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. We're going to have another video coming at you later this evening around the final 53-man roster, so be on the lookout for that. Asim Richards, the newest member of the black and gold. He will be taking over as a backup left tackle. He can play a little bit of guard. He's capable of doing that, but he's much better and has much more experience at the tackle position, according to Pro Football Focus. He has more than 90% of his 220 career snaps at left tackle, 6 snaps at left guard, 7 snaps at right guard. He's pretty much a tackle. He did lose his job to Nathan Thomas of the Dallas Cowboys. He probably wasn't going to make the roster. And in terms of the trade compensation or why you did this, 5th-round pick out of North Carolina. He hasn't really been that impressive, but to be totally honest, I think you made this move out of desperation because you have virtually no depth in the offensive line. Let's take a look at the Pro Football Focus grades. In 221 snaps, you can see what he did. 58.7 overall, 69.5 pass blocking grade, 63.0 run blocking grade, 1 sack allowed in 221 snaps in 2024 for the Dallas Cowboys. Again, I'll say it, the Saints were desperate. I'm going to be honest, this was a move that the New Orleans Saints quite frankly needed to make, and it's not necessarily for Asim Richards, it's for an offensive lineman and for a backup tackle specifically. You have nice insurance policy, I'd say, in Torsilli Simpkins. I think he's been very, very impressive as an undrafted free agent, especially as a rookie, and he definitely has earned himself a roster spot. But with injuries to guys like Will Clapp, Landon Young, Barry Wesley, you are very, very thin when it comes to the offensive line depth. And we've seen in the preseason, the O-line depth was not good when Eric McCoy and the rest of the starters were not out there. We got a lot more to discuss. I want to talk about the trade history the Saints have made. I want to talk about the offensive linemen, the injuries around that room, because this is a very, very beat-up squad. And quite frankly, I think the Saints will make some more moves to bring in more offensive linemen. But really quick, today's show in this episode of Saints Now by Chat Sports, brought to you by the best daily fantasy sports app in the whole wide world, and that is PrizePicks, ladies and gentlemen. Football is back. College football's here. The regular season of professional football about to get started. Don't miss out on any of the action this season with PrizePicks. If you're not familiar with PrizePicks, it's a fun and simple way to test your ball knowledge and turn it into some cold, hard cash. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in and win up to 2,000 times your cheddar. You can check out the PrizePicks lineups I got going on for this entire season. I'm not going to go ahead and lie to you. I'm going to just keep it real. That's what I do on the channel. It's not going to be a pretty season. There's going to be a lot of lows. Some highs, but a lot of lows. And for me, I got to find a way to stay tapped in and engaged all season long. So I'm rolling with the more on Chris Olave receiving yards, more on Alvin Kamara receiving touchdowns, more on Lamar Jackson passing yards. I think that the Ravens are set to have a really, really big year, and I think Lamar could do some massive damage offensively. That is why I am projecting them more on all of these, and that is why you should follow my picks. PrizePicks is also the best way to get in on action in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. Join the millions of users and sign up today. You can download the PrizePicks app and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Reminder, that's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. All that information is available in the comments and description of this video. Shout out to PrizePicks. Run your game. No mystery. The injury bug is present in New Orleans, especially when it comes to the offensive line. We've already seen a handful of players get placed on IR, and we've already seen Trevor Penning, your starting guard, have to deal with some injuries again. Now, here are how the offensive lineman injuries are kind of shaping out right now. Trevor Penning, he's dealing with the turf toe. Not on IR. Don't know what's going to happen with him. Hopefully, he can return very, very soon. Will Clapp, he was placed on IR, season-ending IR with a Lisfranc injury. Nick Saldiveri, season-ending IR with a knee. Backup guard, could play both sides. Stinks that he's gone. He just really has not done much since being drafted. Reminder, Saints traded up to get Nick Saldiveri out of Old Dominion. He has not really been reliable since that move had happened. Landon Young, swing tackle, backup offensive lineman. He was supposed to be a really good depth piece. He was carted off last week due to a ankle injury, and now he is on injured reserve. Barry Wesley also dealing with an injury, not totally sure what it is, but offensive linemen have been getting destroyed throughout this preseason and throughout the summer. And I'm just going to say this right now. I'm kind of confused why the Saints keep making trades. I think for a team that's in the midst of a rebuild, I think for a team that's in the early stages of this Kellen Moore era, you don't need to be shipping away the farm in order to bring in low-level players and talent that really is just kind of backup debt. Like, I just don't necessarily love the idea of continuing to make trades. For what it's worth, the Saints, in my opinion, you actually didn't get fleeced in this trade. Here's the trade compensation. Asim Richards, 2028 7th, 2028 6th. Like, why are we trading picks in 2028? For what it's worth, I think it's one of those things where the Saints couldn't offer a 7th-round pick until 2028, so the Cowboys were like, well, we're not giving you a 6th-round pick until, we're not getting a 7th-round pick until we can offer them a 6th-round pick. You do have an extra 7th in 2028, but in 2027 and in 2026, you do not have a 7th-round pick. So New Orleans gets a 2028 7th-round pick and the offensive lineman, Asim Richards. The Cowboys, they take a 2028 6th-round selection. So right now, in terms of draft picks, you're starting to lose out. There was another trade that happened a couple weeks ago. Luke Fortner, the offensive lineman, a backup guy, was going to get cut either way. Same with Colin Saunders. Is kind of one of those moves. Both players were probably not going to end up on the rosters. Just trade them and flop spots, if you will. I didn't really hate this one. Luke Fortner doesn't really move the needle a ton for me, but provides some depth. And then the trade that really got a lot of feathers ruffled, Devon Vele. The Saints sent a 2026 4th and a 2027 7th-round pick to the Denver Broncos in return for the 6'5", 210-pound wide receiver. Again, I think you don't need to be making a lot of trades right now. I don't think you need to be aggressively pursuing trades. There was reports out there the Saints were in talks with the Steelers about trading for a punter. Like, how are you supposed to rebuild if you have no draft picks? And for what it's worth, it's not like the New Orleans Saints have this illustrious history of hitting on their draft picks. The 2017 draft class is saving this franchise, and most of them are gone. So when it comes to Mickey Loomis, stop giving away draft capital. Thanks for getting us a pick in return. But what the hell are we doing? Stop trading away picks. The draft picks are where you fix your problems. If you can hit on those picks, that is amazing. But you got to stop trading away picks for players that you're not even going to have be contributors. I'm getting kind of frustrated because, look, I like the Devon Vele trade. I don't necessarily love this trade. It was a necessary move to bring in an offensive lineman, but you made 9 picks this past draft. And that was really, really awesome in terms of trying to build for the future. The Saints have been operating like they were in a rebuild for the past few months. And all of a sudden, the script flips, and now you're making all of these trades. Like, I know that it's not for high compensation picks, and I know it's not for high-level players, but can we just cut the shit? I'm just going to keep it real. I don't want to make any more trades. I think we're good. Let's just stop it. Hit the waiver wire, hit free agency. If you still have positions that you need help in, well, we're SOL because, quite frankly, you just got to roll with what you got. It's not like you're going to win the division anyway. It's not like you're going to win a ton of games this year. Stop giving away the future. Like, just hold on to your picks, hit on those picks, and let's build something for the future, not try to win today. It's not going to happen, in my personal opinion. I don't think the Saints need to be making any more trades. That's just my thoughts. If you disagree with me, this is your chance to tell me why I'm wrong. But if you agree with me, I want you to get down in the comment section as well. Answer this question, Who Dat Nation. Should the Saints make any more trades? Type yes, type no. I want to hear from you. Put on your GM hat. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to this breaking news edition of Saints Now by Chat Sports. Reminder, we will have a video at the end of the day for the final 53-man roster once it's set, and then we'll also provide content when the practice squad is set as well. So turn on your notifications, subscribe. This is the time to buy stock in Saints Now by Chat Sports. This is time to get informed and be tapped in because a lot of changes are happening around the black and gold. Appreciate y'all for watching. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time.